Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It is Monday night. We have all kinds of stuff going on and outages going out as well today. What a crazy day all over the place with that big outage and everything else going on. Weeble was down. All kinds of things weren't working properly. So we'll go through it all, see what's going to be working for tomorrow. That's for sure. And let's get to it all. Information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. How is everybody this evening? And that is what the heat map looked like. Not bad. Look at Apple was flying up there, looking pretty ripe, I would say. And SPY wasn't looking too bad either right there. So there you go. And AWS, yeah, that was a great one today. Good evening, traders. Boy, Amazon's AWS threw us for a loop. A glitch on update or hacking? That's a good question. Remember, I just talked about recently about how important it is for our cybersecurity. Here you go. This is a good reason why right here with this AWS outage. And this is why I said at the end of the day, I think it would be most important for all these big companies that merged and worked together for this reason alone, so that our cybersecurity could be number one. I think it's the most important thing. And again, at the end of the day, if they all get hacked, their companies are beat. So I think it would be their number one priority as well. And of course, our interest as well is keeping our country safe. So yeah, we have a lot of issues right there that I think they need to tighten up. And you can see anytime any of these go down, whether it's a hack or who knows, a glitch, I'm not even sure what happened today, but I know I couldn't get my Tesla filled first thing this morning while we were on. And I mean, we would have nailed that thing at the bottom. Me and Laptop Travel, we were on with Ben this morning. And yeah, we had called it right at the bottom, right at the beginning of the day. And then it ran up. I mean, you could have been 10 minutes and had made a really nice profit there. And I realized that mine didn't fill. So I had to quickly cancel it because I was like, I didn't want it to fill while it was already running up. But anyway, that's when I realized that Webull really wasn't working. I'd seen people posting about it, but yeah, it just didn't work at all. And then I was on the small cap show, and all of a sudden I was listening to Money Mark. He was talking, and then I couldn't hear anything. It went quiet. And then I was like, oh, what the heck's going on here? And then the whole thing just like kicked me out. I tried to hop off and hop back on. It said it wouldn't work, and then the screen went blank for the whole thing. And I was like, all right, well, I guess that's not working either. So yeah, I guess it wasn't my day for technology, or anybody's day for that matter. So yeah, there was a lot of issues going on. It started to work, it seemed like, at the end of the day, but definitely in the beginning of the day, we missed out on them. Hood was down. Robin Hood was down as well. And yeah, Laptop Travel got into the TSLL calls and sold them for like 42%, guys. And I said it. I tried to get in at TSLR as it pulled back, and I'll show you exactly what it did right here. We had called it right there at the bottom, and then look, it ran up all the way to its high for the day, and that was basically the bottom for the day right there in about 40 minutes. It wasn't even that long, and we had nailed it. And then, like I said, I realized when it was going up here that it didn't fill. So yeah, BYND. We were talking about it if you guys were listening on the end of the at the end of the day, while Ben and I were on, I did get into this one for a little overnight trade right there. I know Laptop Travel was talking about it yesterday. We'd been talking about it last week because I went through and was telling you how that bad boy had been way up there during COVID back here. And yeah, it was trading at like $239. And remember, I said it was like 70 cents, and now it doubled right there and went up even more to $1.69 right there in the after hours, looking pretty good for BYND. So we literally were talking about it last week, and it started getting pumped up all over the place today. But it does look good for a little swing into tomorrow. So I did jump in that. And again, we try to give you that extra bonus there in the Discord. Great content. Ben and I always hop on now at 3 o'clock, and I hop on at 9 a.m. So you get that. Yeah, and that Eric Johnson, that's what his name is, the open guy, is trying to pump BYND. I saw Tim Skies was posting about it as well. So you got all kinds of big people in there posting about BYND. And that is Beyond Meat. And we were literally talking about it, and it was bottoming out. Remember, I was telling you guys down here in the 70s. So we were just talking about it last week, and there you go. We're usually early to the party, that's for sure. before. And yeah, I took it and it's up 14% over that. So yeah, there you go. And again, at the end of the day, around 3 o'clock, we hop on to do some live trading and tell you what's going on and the setups for the next day. So you get that bonus in the Discord and, of course, in the morning. And, of course, we do our morning show anyway, but I do come back. I hop on with Ben around 9:10 or so, 9:15. And we check out what's going on for the morning and what the best looks are. And if you were on this morning, you guys know I just kept saying LDI, LDI, LDI. I was trying to buy more options. It wouldn't let me do it today. And then this thing ran up big time right there. So there you go with LDI. That was looking great. And it started to cruise. And I think it is going to look good. Another one I was talking about last week. I kept saying this thing's bottomed out. It's going to get cruising. And there you go. It was moving up there today. Another one, if you were watching this morning, LPTH, Light Path, we were talking about this, and it ran up pretty nice today. So a lot of good ones right there. I put some great ones on the night note last night. They basically had all run up. So you had all kinds of great opportunities and options. And that was a Sunday night going into a Monday night. So here we go. Let's see what the market's going to give us, what opportunities here. And we have some games already going on. We already have a football game happening. The Bucks and the Lions are up 7-0 here in the second quarter. And then we also have Texans and Seahawks coming on later on. So we'll get to watch that game later. And then you do have your game 7, which is going to be a big one, Mariners against the Blue Jays. And they're in Toronto for this bad boy, and it starts at 8:10. So just in about 3 minutes should be the first pitch. And again, that's a game 7. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. And maybe Steakhouse, that printed fish, will run or swim in sympathy. Let's see. STKH, that's stakeholder. I say steakhouse, stakeholder, whatever the heck it's called. But yeah, they have some crazy printed fish thing, and it could run in sympathy to beyond possibly. I don't know. It doesn't look like it wants to yet, but I'm not saying it's out the question. It could get curled up there, and they make like fake stuff. 13 tickers on the pre-market runners for the overnight watch list right there. So there you go. And Latham Group, what is that? Building products. I'm not even sure, but that looks pretty good. Laptop Travel. I'm not even sure what SWIM is. SWIM. But that looks pretty good. You can jot that one down for tomorrow because it looks pretty good to swim upstream. That's for sure. So here we go. Let's go through our list, see what we got going on for tomorrow, and we'll keep ourselves posted with the sports going on, and we'll find out what's going to be popping because we went through just about all the poppers that were going today. Even that GSIT, we looked at that last night too as well. Remember this guy? It was already looking pretty good. I remember we were looking at this. Hadn't it run up already? No, it was setting up GSIT. And yeah, look at that thing was running up. So that thing was blasting off, all kinds of them. So yeah, we'll see what's going on for tomorrow's market. And here we go. Let's get cruising. Neon right here was trying to glow, and I'm telling you, this one looks pretty good down here. That's why I kept it on the list. And you might get this bad boy to start cruising right there. NEON. Check it out right there. It doesn't look too bad, and it could get curled up, get glowing, and get cruising over that 20, and then it would be cruising along. So we'll keep our eye on it. We've had it on the list for a little while just because it didn't really look too bad yet. And let's look at KVUE, the Tylenol maker. It was trying to run up the other day, and it's just a little healthy pullback right there. Nothing too crazy. And we will keep our eye on this, and we just want to know when this bad boy really wants to get running. It did have that spike. It does look like it's trying to get set up. Let's just make sure it does tomorrow. I'll look at that in the morning, and we'll see what it looks like. And here's Open Door. And again, I'm pretty sure the support line had disappeared yesterday for a little bit. Now it's back, but that is the bottom right there. It just has a little setup time. Maybe it's going to wait until the earnings right there. Who knows, or a run right before earnings. But it does. It just has a little bit of setup time. It does look like that bottom hopped in there, and you could be bouncing around, and then it'll get running for Open Door. So keep an eye on it. We'll watch it again. We'll watch it and see when it really gets set up there, and you'll want to get into it if it really wants to get set up and really get cruising. QMCO, these ones are kind of pulling back here, trying to get down, and then they'll have to get set back up, and that's your quantum and computer hardware ones and RGTI. Look at these bad boys just pulling back right here. And also QUBT is also pulling back, as you can see, that quantum computing all the way down to the support line. We'll have to see if it wants to hold up there tomorrow. QBTS is that D wave, and that one's going down right there. So aren't you guys glad I told you exactly where the top was right there? I mean, we nailed the top as perfect as you can nail them for all of these things. And I was telling you guys, you'd better get out of them. They're going to be pulling back there. QTUM, that's the Defiance. We'll see. I'm not so sure that wants to go up yet. And IONQ is pulling back big time. And that IONZ was looking pretty good right there, running up, and still looks pretty healthy. So you might want to keep an eye on IONZ right there, because that could keep on running tomorrow. So jot that one down on your watch list. We'll keep an eye on it. I know we've looked at it before right there, and we'll look at it tomorrow. And let's see, what is that Z space doing? Look at this thing. Is it going to run when everything else doesn't want to? It doesn't look too bad right there. It went up 10%, and I'm not sure what happened there for Z space, but maybe we got to keep an eye on it while all the other quantum ones are down. Maybe this one wants to run. That would be pretty funny right there. But we should look at it and see. And RCAT right there is pulling back. So yeah, Z space. I'm going to jot it down so I don't forget tomorrow. But yeah, that one actually doesn't look bad out of them all. They're all run up there, and then that one just kind of hung out there, didn't go too crazy. And QSI is kind of trying to bounce back up. It was up a little bit today. We'll see if that one wants to get cruising. I did play that one last week there, and it is curling up, not looking too bad. And again, I hit that one. It was going up right here. And honestly, I sold it at like $3. I think it got to 310, and then it pulled back into the 240s, 250s. So I was pretty good on that, but that doesn't look too bad. We'll have to keep an eye on that in the morning. And Z space right there. So there you go. We'll be watching them guys. And let's see what else is going on in our list. UNH right here was jumping up there, and that thing looks pretty good. It looks like it wants to get running. So let's keep a mark next to UNH, because that looks like it wants to set up and get cruising right there. And let's see what else looks pretty good. Let's go through our Trump family crypto ones. And look, I do think crypto is about to get rocking and rolling here. And these could be the actual bottoms right there. ABTC, look at this thing down in the $5 range, almost down here where it that was in the $1.40s. I thought it was a little higher up, but anyway, it is way down there, ABTC. And again, I think that crypto is going to start rolling. That looks like it kind of bottomed out there. Pew right here is grab a gun, and this looks like it's trying to base out. So these are the Trump crypto family ones, and NCPL, the ones that his kids are involved in. NCPL right here is getting pretty set up. Look at that thing trying to get cruising. You might want to keep an eye on that one as well. And PSQH, this one had looked pretty good before, and it doesn't look too bad right there, hanging out on the trend line. And we'll see what it looks like over here for PSQH. And yeah, that one doesn't look too bad. NCPL looks pretty good right there. And ABTC, not bad. So keep an eye on them. OCGN right here was trying to spike up. I saw that one today. And let's see what it looked like right there. That doesn't look bad to try to get set back up. That looked like it bottomed out there. And the market does look like it wants to get ripping again. So that'll be nice. And we'll keep on cruising right along. We'll see what you guys want to look at. And let's go right through BMNR. Wasn't Kathy Wood or somebody buying this thing? Somebody was talking about that today. I forget what it was. But anyway, not looking bad right here for BMNR. And again, crypto looks like it's way better to get rolling again. And SBET right here, that SharpLink Gaming, look at that thing. That looked like it bottomed out down there. So that doesn't look too bad right there. Let's take a look at it right here. And yeah, that thing looks like it wants to get curled up. So I wouldn't be surprised if these things get rolling. And remember what I said towards the end of October there, I think the markets are going to get set up, and maybe we'll see a government shutdown stop. We'll look at the poly markets in a little bit and see what that looks like. UPXI was moving back up, and look at this thing set up. And I told you I had some of this one in my long-term account there. So there you go at UPXI, and it is looking much better. ORBS is another one, guys, trying to get set up. I know we've been watching it, and look at that thing. That thing's going to, in a couple days, it's going to look really good right there. And how about your sales for course. That was ripping today, and you might want to keep an eye on that one. CRM looking pretty good for a little cruise up tomorrow. Let's take a look and see what it's doing right here in the after hours. Yeah, look at that thing, pretty strong. And Kathy Wood spoke at the Fed Reserve meeting, and a big proponent and investor in BMNR. And you were talking about it in the live show this morning with the Discord. There you go. I heard about it. I just didn't know what I heard. And so Laptop Travel was the one mentioned it this morning. And yeah, that was Kathy Wood. And she is in BMNR, I guess, too. But yeah, that thing looks good. We have already established when these things get ripping and they're starting to look good. Again, I think the end of this year is going to be pretty wild. And let's see, Cigna right there was looking good. I had it on the night note for you guys. And yeah, that thing does look pretty nice. I know we talked about this last night, and it does look pretty good to continue its way up there for Cigna. I think it's on the list. Yeah, it is. It's on the list there at the bottom. But yeah, Cigna doesn't look bad. CI. So keep an eye on that. And let's keep on cruising right through our list. But yeah, CRM looking pretty good right there. I would say it might want to keep its way up there. CoreWeave not looking so great today. That was pulling back. Even Coors, that looks a little bit better, but not beautiful. So we'll keep an eye on them possibly and see what they want to do. Circle was trying to circle back up here and get set up, and that looks like it tried to bottom out. They do have earnings coming up in the second week in November, it looks like. So yeah, we'll have to look at CRCL. This could be a good one that wants to run up relatively soon. So we'll watch for that one to see what it wants to do. You can see that setup happening. It'll have to get back on the bullish trend side so it can get cruising right there. And let's see what that Bath and Body Works. I couldn't think of the name of it. It spiked up early. I remember talking about it or looking at it this morning. I don't know if I ever mentioned it this morning, but I know I was looking at it and it did spike up there. I did see that, a little healthy pullback. So it is getting set up there. And I think you can just watch for any dip opportunities. But we were talking about that one, Bath and Body Works. It tends to like to run at this time of year for the holiday season. And LPTH was cruising along. And if you were listening to the live Discord trading show this morning, you definitely heard about LPTH. We talked about it last week as well, and it is cruising along right there. Chipotle getting set up right here. I don't know what's going on with their earnings, but this thing's looking pretty good. It has an interesting look, we'll say that. And it does look like it's trying to get set up with your 20 and 50 and roll off there. So we'll keep an eye on Chipotle. I'm not a fan of the food, but possibly a fan of that chart right there. So we'll be watching that. Remember, I talked about ADI and analog devices. That was up over 1% today. It did run up over $3, as you can see, and may want to continue its way up there tomorrow. I'm not sure what the heck they do, but it is running, and we knew that the chart was looking good. That's all that mattered for ADI. So yeah, that was on there. How about that POWL was running up big today, and that could keep some momentum right there. So you keep an eye on POWL and look at that bad boy jumping up there, looking pretty good. So yeah, we'll definitely be watching that one in the morning as well, because that could keep its way up keep going up there too. So we'll definitely be watching that. And I think the baseball game should have started. Let's see what's going on over here. And oh wow, the Mariners are already up 1-0 in the top of the first with one out. I don't even know what happened. What the heck even happened? And it looks like somebody just they had a guy on second base that just snuck through, and he's going to score every time. So I don't know if they hit a double to start the game, but there you go. They already scored. The Mariners are up 1-0 right here. It is a game 7 to see who's going to go play the Dodgers in the World Series. That series does start on Friday. And the Lions are up 14-0 right now against the Bucks in the second quarter with 3:14, and Texans and Seahawks are in a little bit. So there you go with some sports update. And we'll keep you updated with this baseball game, because that is, like I said, a game 7. So we'll run through the market so everyone can go and enjoy a game 7 and the rest of the football games. But we'll make sure we know what's going on with the market, everybody. You know that. And we'll see what's going to be setting up to get popping here. So there we go. 1-0 Mariners. And POWL that was popping today and looks like it could keep its momentum there tomorrow. Another one we had on the night note right there for you guys. And again, I've been just putting them all out there. I even changed the night note if you checked it out and look at it. If you're in the Discord, check it out. I changed it around and told you what setups, the momentum plays, and what looks good for tomorrow, and some penny stocks, everything else, crypto, gold, and just put it all in there for you real quick and easy so everybody knows what's going on. You can read it in like 5 seconds and know exactly what to do. And yeah, look at that bad boy. That was up pretty well too. So, and I even was mentioning some of these guys in the morning. So again, we will be going over things in the Discord, and yeah, we're just getting down. Like I said, I'm getting a little better organized, and I think we're just going to be crushing everything, guys. So it's going to be exciting. I know that, and like I said, that's what the Discord's for, and that's why we wanted to make it a little bit better. At least I do, and I know the guys in there, Laptop Travel, of course, and Ben and everybody else, the Godfather. We want to make it the best that we can so that everybody can obviously easily pay for their subscription, of course, make way more profits. And that's what our goal is. So there you go. And I'd say we've been giving out some really good ones right there if you're paying attention. And there is HUM. And let's see, UPS right there was up a little bit. It was jumping up this morning. That wasn't looking bad either. And running up in that YYAI pulled back a little bit. I was surprised, honestly. Look at that. I'd be watching this thing tomorrow again. I know it spiked up a little bit this morning, but then it did pull back there. And you can see it better over here. You can see it was running around right there. And I did see it this morning spiking up, but it also has a nice pullback right there. So keep an eye on this thing tomorrow. I think that could be a setup right there for Pennyland. So definitely watch that one. I know we've been looking at it, and that EPWK as well was just kind of floating around down here in the basement, and that's getting set up. So that's another one you can keep an eye on. Another 2 penny ones right there, and they could be really good. CI is in a 5-year bullish channel, Luis Rodriguez said. I guess Luis Rodriguez likes Cigna, and I think he's the one that might have mentioned it. I don't even remember, but it is looking pretty good. CI. And let's keep on looking. And TGNA, this is another one. It had that big old dip right here, and then it was getting ready to set up, or was it up there? I thought it was down there and getting set up. What the heck? Let me see this thing. Is this one of these weird ones? Yeah, this is like, oh no, it is up there. For some reason I thought it was dipped down and going up. This one's already ran up and still setting up down here. The MACD was down. For some reason, when I blown it up, I thought that they had dipped down really hard, but that's completely wrong because that had dipped down here and then ran up. So yeah, we'll have to watch this thing right here. But look at this MACD trying to crawl up and yet 20 coming down. So TGNA, I have no idea what they do right here, but it's not looking too bad right there. I'll have to look at it tomorrow. For some reason, I had it like, I guess, yeah, but that thing looks pretty good even up there, but it definitely ran up and looks like it wants to try to run up again, but we'll make sure of that tomorrow for TGNA. And let's see, BC PC right here. I think I'd mentioned this yesterday, and look at that thing running up there today. So that was on the list yesterday, and that could keep some momentum for you. So try to throw a bunch on there, even on a Sunday night, things that are looking good. And yeah, the list is filled with things. And then I do the night note for you guys, and then I hop on for live trading as well. So I'd say you should be able to slay the market. And KHC Kraft Heinz right here. Here's another one we were talking about, and it was running up a little bit. It spiked up a little more this morning. Not looking too bad. How about that Nix right here, NIXX? And let's see what that's up to. I know we talked about it. That's one Stock Authority was looking at that 20 and 50 are meeting up. It looks like it tried to run up a little bit in the after hours right there is what it says. And that could get rolling off. I'd keep an eye on that tomorrow. I'll look at that one again in the morning. And there is that LDI. And again, I was saying this morning, that thing was just setting up, guys. It just looked so good this morning. And here you go. You opened up, and then bam, look at that thing. Just got cruising all day long. So yeah, LDI looking good. Looks like it should continue its way tomorrow. And I couldn't even buy more options this morning because Webull wasn't working. But if you were on and listening, you could hear I was saying LDI, and it was looking so good when it opened up. You could tell it wanted to move there. Anyway, we'll have more of them. Tech's not looking bad. Remember, I was saying this, and this looks like it wants to get cruising. So keep an eye on this one as well. SNES right here, and I do think that's getting set up to get running. So keep an eye on Tech. I know we've talked about it before, and also Ben's talked about them a million times. He represents them, as a matter of fact. So there you go, and they have that rodent birth control, whatever it is, something like that. But yeah, it's a they keep getting some big contracts. I think that was some healthy pullback right there. And Tech should be looking pretty decent. So we'll be watching that one. And let's see what Rocket Mortgage is setting up too, guys. And this is another one looking so good. I think we have to keep an eye on RKT right here because that one does look great. That's setting up and looking good. That could be a good runner for tomorrow. Look at that thing setting up right there. RKT looking nice. So keep an eye on that. Rocket Companies is going to do a good old rocket on the chart right there. So I will be watching RKT. I think that one looks pretty good right there. And we were talking about Beyond right here, and it did jump up. And again, if you're in the Discord and on the trading between 3 and the end of the day, you heard me getting into this, and we were talking about it. We talked about it the other day when it was down here. We should all load it up in the 50s, and we would have been real happy there. I was saying that thing looked cheap, and it was way down there, and even telling you how much it was up during COVID. We already talked about it before. But there you go, Beyond, and we were talking about it. ABP right here, not looking bad, and that thing was trying to crawl up there in the after hours. Check this bad boy out, ABP, and there you go. Oh, it already spiked up, it looks like. So 18 up to 28, and now it's at 22. I'd have to look at it in the morning after that, but it did spike up pretty well. So there you go at ABP, and that one did jump up there. We'll look at that tomorrow. CRDO, I put this on the list, and this had run up over 5% and looking pretty good. Look at this thing trying to get curled up. For CRDO, Credo Technology, and that does look pretty good. That's another one could keep its momentum with no problem tomorrow. So keep an eye on CRDO. I do like that one. And again, we were talking about it last night to run up. And of course, Cigna, we talked about that. And that's another one looks pretty good. And ABAT is American Battery Technology. And that thing is trying to curl back up. It was running up a little bit today. And we'll make sure, oh, yeah, that does look pretty good, ABAT. Let's jot it down right there. ABAT, that's looking pretty good to get set up, I must say. So, yeah, I would say to watch ABAT, American Battery Technology Company, is looking pretty healthy right there. They want to get charged back up, it looks like. And let's see what that Lulu is doing. That one I put on the list as well today. And there you go. It was up over 3%. It was up a lot more. You can see it jumped up there to what, 176. It's at 173-ish now. It still looks pretty good. And some of these guys might be looking pretty good. These apparel ones, as you can see, Lulu right there. Nike's not looking bad right here. So maybe some of these apparel ones that are way beaten down, they could be the next sector that gets running. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. So there you go at NKE and good old Nike. We'll look at that as we go through. But Lulu is what we were looking at. And again, some of these apparel ones that were beaten down are looking pretty good. So we're going to be keeping our eyes on them to see if they want to get cruising. And that TONX right here, guys, I did buy this at the end of the day today. And this thing looks like it's going to get some news right now. Holy cow. We were talking about it this morning, as a matter of fact. And again, couldn't even buy anything this morning. So there you go. It had opened up and it looked really good as it opened. It was down here a little bit more in the lower fours, maybe in the high threes. And yeah, now you're at 421 right there. And TONX looking pretty healthy. So maybe they're going to get that issue resolved with NASDAQ. I forget what the heck was even going on. I know that Ben had mentioned it, and I forget what he even said. But, yeah, it does look like it's trying to curl out of there and get cruising there for TONX. So keep an eye on that. And how about this one, guys? A Strive Inc. ASST right here. And this thing looks pretty good, I must say. And like I said, we were watching this thing for a while dip down, and I think you're getting that curl up for ASST. So if you like that look, I do think that looks pretty good down there. It probably bottomed out, and that thing's getting set up. So you might want to keep an eye on ASST Strive Inc. right there, looking pretty good. And you guys remember we were watching LDI and Strive and that one, and now look at ADI or LDI, ADI, LDI Loan Depot is getting cruising right there, and ASST looks like it's going to be setting up to get cruising from down there, and that thing has a lot of room, so that could get really cruising. That could have some good strive in it, and that is your ASST. So I'll be watching that one as well. And here you go with BTGD. It was kind of bouncing back up today, as you can see, with Bitcoin and the gold one. SOLZ not looking too bad right there, as you can see. They look like they bottomed out, I'm telling you. So we might have them bottom. See SOLT right there is a two-timer. And then you got HSDT is Solana company that was still pulling back down there. It's not ready to be bottomed out, but maybe today was that bottom now. And STKE was another one, Soul Strategies. And this one down here looks like that's trying to roll up. So that one could be another good one right there. STKE. And I just discovered that the other day. You can see that one. And I think that's getting set up. So we'll be watching that bad boy, and we'll keep an eye on them guys. And yeah, that's Soul Strategies right there. And that's a couple of them. Let's look at American Eagle right here. Is another apparel company, and that looks really good to get set up. So I would say American Eagle and these apparel ones looking pretty good right here. And let's see what the score is. It is 1-0 Mariners in the bottom of the first with one out, guys. 14-0. The Lions are beating the Bucks, and we'll keep you updated on that. So thank you very much right there, Luis Rodriguez. And yeah, the Mariners right there getting off to an early start. Only got one run in, but they still scored in the beginning of the game. That's pretty important in a game 7. Keep some momentum. And American Eagle Outfitters, Michael Anthony, I meant to say. That one looks like it's going to keep some momentum. So, yeah, keep an eye on that right there. AEO. That looks pretty good down there as well. And it looks like it's trying to set up. So, we'll be watching that. And let's see this China Resource one, Natural Resource. This thing is just trying to roll back up. You can see it trying to roll back off the MACD right there. That's why I put it on there. It did have a big spike up there today, 563 to 934. It had some big spikes going on, and looks like it wants to roll up right there. So that is looking pretty good. Keep that one on your watch list. And UAMY, I know Luis Rodriguez like this one today. It did pull back a little bit, then ran up there, and then it started to run up a little bit more in the after hours, as you can see right here. It opened up, dipped down, and then it got cruising. So it was one that took a little dip in the morning and then got rocking and rolling there, Luis Rodriguez. So you did like that early, and it did pop up there for you. And it doesn't look too bad going into tomorrow, I must say, for you, AMY. So, yeah, might want to watch this guy, as it looks like it's going to roll off there and get cruising a little bit higher. So we'll be watching that one in the morning, too. So there you go with UAMY. And let's see what else that Cleveland Cliffs Steel Company. This thing was rocking and rolling today as well. So you can take a look at this thing and see it may keep that momentum. Look at it, 1341 to 1697. It's at 1695 right now and looking pretty good as it ran up that. So keep an eye on that one as well right there. And there you go. And Robin said, use your rewind by pulling back the red dot at the bottom of the screen. There you go, Michael Anthony. What were you even asking? Which one started with the letter B? Oh, BTGD. Yep, BTGD, Laptop Travel. Got you right there. And that is a 100% staked Bitcoin and 100% gold ETF right there. You get a little bit of both of them if you like Bitcoin and gold. And it did bounce back up, and it is looking pretty good right there. We can look at our JNUG and NUG because they were bouncing back up a little bit, and we'll see if they really want to get bouncing tomorrow. You can see that they might. They could, but they could also go either way. You can kind of see they don't know what direction they want to go right there. So we do have our CPI coming in at the end of the week, and there's your nug right there. Like I said, they could both pull themselves up, get rolling up there, or both of them could pull back right there. So There you go with that one. And let's see what's going on right here. And that is some Nug, J Nug, and all them. So yeah, and Cleveland Cliffs CLF is not looking bad right there for a steel company. I wonder how the other ones look. Steel, there's only a few of them. I know that. Let's see, that one looked pretty good. That one's already running up. That's our Cleveland Cliffs. FRD looks pretty good. That one's setting up. We might want to be looking at steel real quick, guys. MSB just ran up right there. These guys look like they might be setting up as well. So I think we might want to keep an eye on the steel industry because it looks like something's going on right there for steel. So let's write that down, steel industry. And how do we get there? CLF. We can get there through CLF. That's that Cliff one, Cleveland Cliffs. So yeah, keep an eye on some of these. Holy cow, they look real good. Look at that MSB. Look at that LUD getting set up. This one looked pretty good right here. We'll just pull up a couple. I noticed FRD was looking pretty healthy too as we went through real quick. So here you go. That is getting set up right there. Look at these guys. That one's getting set up. And INHD, look at this thing beat down, and a Hong Kong steel company right there. And that is looking pretty good, INHD. So I got to write that down, INHD right there, steel. There you are. There's a couple steel ones for you, and we'll have to look at them in the morning or tomorrow, as a matter of fact, because they're looking pretty good. So keep your eye on the steel industry right there. So good one with Cleveland Cliffs. Glad that popped up. And let's look at our Jolie's jumpers, or Jolie's jams, I mean, real quick, and see what's going on with rhythm and see what kind of rhythm it wants to get in. It is trying to crawl back up. I'm not convinced it's ready yet. It could have a little setup period right there for RYM. And Blink had been running up there and that pulled all the way back, and that looks like it bottomed out. And yeah, that one could be bouncing back up as well for BLNK. At least it could have been bottomed out right there. And how about your Sezzle SEZL? Not too bad, I must say, right there. Had been pulling back as well. And I think you are getting these guys set up. Maybe it is the last week or so for some of these. They look like they're bottoming out right here on them looks, and they're going to try to get moving. Of course, they might not get popping right away. They get set up. But if we know that the bottom's in, you know which way they're going to be going. So that's always what we're looking for. And Sterling right here always bounces right back up after a big dip. That one's kind of crazy, guys. So keep an eye on. Does have some crazy resistance up there at 375 as well. We'll see if it can get through that. And there you go with STRL. And let's see what is going on with Rivian tonight. It's still down there, but it does look like it's trying to get set up. As a matter of fact, they do have earnings coming up. I'm not sure how their earnings are going to be, but it does look like it's trying to run maybe before them earnings. It could go for Rivian. And Symbiotic right here was just kind of hanging out, coming down to your MACD, and could possibly roll off, go up again. So there you go with Symbiotic, SYM. And there you are with your Jolie's Jams. And then we'll jump right into our laptop travel list, and then we'll go and see what you guys want to look at, and we'll see what's going on. 14-3, the Lions are up on the Bucks at the halftime, and it's still 1-0 Mariners against the Blue Jays. Mariners are up in the bottom of the first right there. And here we go, KOPN right there, laptop travel. I know you were talking about this bad boy for a while, and here you are. We'll go right through it. I know you mentioned something. Hey, you were talking about KORU over there, and we'll look at that as well, the South Korea one. But KOPN, I know you were talking about this, electronic components right there, and it does look good. It looks like it does want to run through that resistance. So there you go with KOPN. Laptop travel is early for that one. And let's cruise right through his list and see what's going on with AAME right here, Atlantic American Corp. And look at that bad boy. It curled through. That one's getting set up in that channel right there. So I'll keep an eye on that tomorrow. And Bitfarms right here, BITF. Let's see what Bitfarms is doing. It looks like it tried to bottom out. And again, I'm not so sure that they're just ready to roll up yet. Maybe they get rolling off that MACD, try to run up again. I do think you have more runs in them, to be completely honest with you, because I think the end of the year is going to be pretty good. So I don't think that they're done running. They could be just bouncing around. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Bit Farms right there. CLGN, Call Plant Tech Biotechnologies. That thing's curling up right there, up pretty well for CLGN. And that could be a good one for tomorrow. You can see that trying to cross right through and get rolling. So that's looking pretty good. CVU is CPI Arrow Structures. That's in a good spot right there, guys. You can assume that one's going to get moving. CVU, I think that one looks really good right there. For CVU, definitely keep an eye on that in the morning. Laptop Travel and Crew, that one could get cruising. GENK, let's see what that's up to. I know we looked at it last week or so, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I forget, but we were looking at it. And yeah, it's in that channel looking a lot better right there for GENK. So yeah, keep an eye on that because that's curling up and wants to get out of that channel and continue to run up there. And what the heck did I run? G-Sun, right, G-Sun right here. And let's see what G-Sun is doing. It's kind of bouncing around right there. Let me take a better look at G-Sun over here. That's not looking too bad. I'd have to look at it tomorrow. It just has that like setup look, like it's trying to do something. Look at all them green candles all stacked together right there. I don't know what it's trying to do, but it's trying to do something right there. And what is that? INTJ, probably. Yeah, Intelligent Group right here. It has that support line right there. It's trying to get bouncing, a little bit of run up, healthy pullback. Not looking bad for INTJ. And if I type it in right there, there you go. And yeah, it is in that channel, not looking bad. So we'll keep an eye on that in the morning, see if it wants to get set up. And MRNO is Murano Global Investments. And let's see what that's doing right here for MRNO. And let's see right there. Yeah, that's not looking too bad to try to get into that channel. It's making its way up there and it bottomed out down there the other day. So pretty decent right there. SNYR Synergy. Let's see what that's doing. It had some synergy this morning, then pull back right there. So let's see what it wants to do going forward right now. It's just a little healthy pullback. It really doesn't look bad. I'd have to look at it tomorrow after it ran up. VIVK is just ran up here yesterday, and it was a couple days ago, whenever it was, last week, I guess. And let's see what it wants to do right here, trying to crawl back up. We'd have to look at that one in the morning as well after it recently ran up there. Yeah. We'll look at that one and see. And this VRCA got some good news at the end of the day. We were looking at this and talking about it at the end of the day there. They got some, I don't know what happened. I forget. But Ben had broken the news there. It had popped up, and here you go. It dipped down pretty hard, though, I must say. Let's see, right at the end of the day, you can see that was the news, and then it got sold off fast. So it did it. It was cruising in. It popped up real quick, and then came right down. So I guess people had already been anticipating that news. I have no idea. But we were talking about that. I did not jump in it. I think Ben might have. I don't know what he did with the position, though, so it might have pulled back. I did jump into the old BYND, and that one is jumping up there, so we'll see. And we'll actually look at VRCA in the morning and see if it does want to rebound back up. It didn't look bad, I know that, but you can also see on that minute chart, it jumped up and got sold off pretty well. So we'll see. It looks like it was trying to rebound right there at the end, so maybe it'll pop right back up in the morning and could be another great opportunity right there. So we'll be watching that. And let's just cruise right through, get through our night so we can go and enjoy a Game 7. Because it looks like it is the top of the second right here. And it's 1-1 now. Holy cow, what a game. This one looks like it's going to be a good Game 7, guys. 1-1, top of the second. Blue Jays came back and scored. I'm not sure what even happened there. I'm just looking at the feed right here. But, yeah, they both scored in the first inning there. So, wow, that's a good Game 7 to start it off anyway. And we'll keep you updated on that. But let's cruise through and let's see what our SPY is up to. It was running up there. It does have resistance and the MACD right there. Will it cross through? I'm not so sure it will, guys, but it looks pretty damn good to even hit it. So it could even hit it and try to poke its head, pull itself back, and run around for the rest of the week. Remember, we have CPI coming up on Friday. Who the heck knows what that's going to do? And guys can see right here. I'll show you. Um, there you go. And tomorrow, right there, is some other stuff. The Fed, some people are talking, and no one, I don't think, important. And Wednesday, you have mortgage applications and crude oil, gasoline, and refinery. And then on Thursday, you have your jobless claims right there, all that good stuff. But on Friday, you have your CPI, core inflation rate, and all that. So there you go. And it could be all gearing up for that. You also have a lot of earnings coming up, so it's going to be pretty interesting with all of this happening. I do think the markets are going to get ripping, to be honest with you. And let's just look and see what our poly market says right here. And it does say, when will the government shutdown end? November 4th is the prediction now. Holy cow, what the heck happened? Hold on, we got to see what just happened. Holy mackerel, look at that chart. Got crazy, guys. What the heck is that? What happened here? This one is the November 16th. Remember, we were talking about it like pulling back. This looks like 5 days just went by. I don't even know what happened here because I was looking at it earlier this morning and it looks like I have to refresh this again. What is going on here? November 4th, something was jumping up. What was it? The yellow and the dark blue, right? It was it was the light blue. I don't even know. These numbers look, everything looks all different right now. I have no idea what's just going to happen, but this chart looks all kinds of crazy. It looks way different than it did earlier. I know that. So let me just look at this, the Fed decision, see if that looks halfway normal still. Holy cow, that government shutdown went nuts right there. Yeah, your Fed decision, you're definitely getting your rate cut in October 29th, and you're also getting one in December. I mean, we already know that's happening. But this shutdown went crazy, guys. Look at that thing. November 4th right there. So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to figure something out right there. That's for sure. This one even has like 20% for Halloween. And remember, that was like the original one that looked pretty good back a little while ago. And then they all kind of fell off. Here's what they look like right here. And the light blue right there is November or October 30th, Halloween to October or November 3rd. And that's November 16th and October 27th to the 20th or to the 30th right here. That dark blue, that was the one that was kind of curling up right there, and that light blue. So that's an interesting, crazy look right there, guys. I don't know what was going on today, but it looks like it was getting kind of crazy. As you can see, that's all today, and it was rocking and rolling all day right there. Look at this thing, 3 a.m. and then all of a sudden it was dropping down there early in the morning and then running all around, getting wild. So something's going on there. Chart changed in response to the U.S. White House reports they expect an early settlement for budget impasse. Laptop Travel just said so. There you go. Thank you, Laptop Travel. I would say it changed pretty big. That's for sure. And then that would put the timing right in where you think the markets should be popping right at the end of the year right there. So I would say that's what it looked like to begin with. And then all of a sudden that November 16th was getting crazy there. And now it looks like it reeled itself back in. So very interesting right there. I'm glad that we look at that all the time because it gives you a good idea. So it looks like they are going to try to figure something out. Here's Apple. Apple is running up. Apple looks like it's going to keep that momentum right there and looks pretty good. Amazon right here wasn't too bad today. That one looks like it's trying to set back up as well. Whether it gets through this MACD, again, that's what we're looking at now. And Google was trying to run up a little bit and spiking up and is trying to get through there and trying to get into the top. Meta right here was running up pretty big as well, and that wasn't looking bad. And there you go. Meta is jumping up there, looking good. Microsoft honestly looks pretty good as well, guys. I would say watch this thing. It might make that big old curl up and get crazy right there for MSFT. Good old Microsoft. You can see it right there. It's looking pretty good. So watch that tomorrow. Good old Microsoft. And the video right here was like the one that was down, and it is trying to get set up, but it's not exactly ready. So we'll be watching it. And Tesla right there was running up some more. And again, I tried to get the Tesla options this morning to swing real quick, and then Webull didn't work, and that was disappointing because it ran all the way up to the top from the bottom of the day in about 30 minutes, and we would have nailed it perfectly. And of course, that's the day that they don't want to work. It doesn't want to work. But anyway, that's how life goes, guys. So what are you going to do? We'll get it tomorrow and do the exact same thing and now everything that we can. And here we go. AMC right here is at that bottom and trying to get set up. GameStop right here, another one. That actually looks like it's trying to crawl up. We'll be keeping an eye on them. Chewy right here, same thing. I think it's getting set up. And Unity right here also trying to bottom out, and we'll have a big curl up. So there you go with them guys. Netflix right here was flying up. Remember, Netflix was trying to get set back up. I didn't think it was going to blast off today, but it certainly did. And when are their earnings? They're coming up tomorrow. So Netflix probably looking good going into the earnings. Doesn't look like the Mariners scored. It looks like they're going into the bottom of the first or bottom of the second, 1-1 right there. And it is halftime in the football game. Lions are up 14-3 over the Bucks, and Netflix jumping up there quite well. So I don't generally play it, but that one's not looking too bad. We knew it was setting up, but it did jump up pretty quick. AVGO right here. Let's look at some semiconductors and see what they want to do. It doesn't look too bad. It's just trying to ride that line and get set up right there. I know MU was jumping up today, and it also came. It doesn't look too bad there. You can see it has that weird look though, as it finished down a little bit for MU. Come on there, Trend Spider. Don't mess with us today. I had enough issues with everything else. You don't have to give us an issue too. Come on. Hold on. Let's see if Trend Spider wants to try to work here. Let me just do this. I'll try to pop out. If not, there we go. It popped up as I came out of it. Let's go over here. And there we go. MU. Let's see. That's Microsoft. Let's see. MU. There we go. And yeah, look at it. It just crawled through. It doesn't look too bad. Did have a little bit of pullback there at the end of the day, but we'll be watching it tomorrow. And of course, our TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. That one's, I don't know. I have to look at these bad boys to see if they really want to get cruising up here. They've been running up, and a couple of them could be pulling back right here and to get set back up. SMCI, let's see that one. It was kind of bouncing around. That one does look pretty good right there, trying to curl up there and not looking bad. I know it was bouncing around a little bit today. And let's see, it's not looking, again, it does try to curl up. We'll have to look at that tomorrow as well, get a better idea. AMD was trying to jump up there, has some good resistance. So we'll see if it can really jump up tomorrow. QCOM had been setting up and is running up. That one might get running there. So you keep an eye on QCOM. And Snow right here had been running up. So that one's pretty bullish and looks pretty good right there for SNOW. And let's look at our PayPal right here and see what that's up to. And actually, PayPal not looking bad off of that trend line right there. Let's see what PYPL is up to there. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. We'll have to watch that one. Intel is running up there today and looking pretty good as well. And how about Dell? That's pulling back at the moment. We'll see how much Dell can pull back. Let me take a look and see. Yeah, Dell is trying to pull back a little bit, so we'll see that. IBM not looking bad either and could get curled up there, so we were really early for that one. And there's Palantir, guys. And again, just watch for any dip opportunities as we are talking about down here. But I do think Palantir is getting set up. Sophie also is another one getting set up, and you can see Sophie's looking pretty good. I think Sophie even looks better than Palantir at the moment, to be completely honest with you. And let's look at Mara Riot. They were running up a little more today, and they are trying to roll off that MACD. At least Mara is. Here's your Riot, and let's see. That one would have to crawl right through. We'll be keeping an eye on it. I know Clean Spark was running up there today. CLSK. Look at that thing. That was jumping up and looking pretty good. It doesn't look bad to try to crawl up into the top again. And MicroStrategy looks like it bottomed out. And that's trying to cruise up there. Robinhood was up even though it was out. It wasn't even working that well. That should give you an indication it wants to run. Coinbase also is jumping up there. And even Bull wasn't working either, but it was running up a little bit. And again, I do like Webull way down here, and I do think that's going to be a great opportunity. You can see that going to get curled up and get moving. So there you go with BULL, and it will be bullish space right here. Not too bad. It is pulling back a little. We'll have to see exactly what it wants to do. And Boeing's trying to get set up. We were talking about this, and we might want to check out them ETFs again, because Boeing's looking pretty strong right there. We'll look at Lockheed Martin. You can see Boeing looking good. Lockheed Martin wasn't too bad either today. LMT right there, it was jumping up and looking pretty strong. And I guess they do have earnings coming in there tomorrow, it looks like, as well. They certainly do. So we'll have to keep an eye on LMT earnings. Let me jot that down. LMT has earnings right there. So we'll be looking at that. Huntington Ingalls right there was running up a little bit. So there you go. And how about that NOC, Northrop Grumman? And that thing is trying to bounce back up. Looks like it tried to bottom out. So we'll be keeping an eye on our aerospace and defense, see what's going on there. And DJT, that is trying to get set up. You have that trend line down there. It is going to be bouncing around. You do have a little bit of a setup period, so we'll have to wait for that one. And that's DJT. And of course, we can look at Fun. It was trying to bounce up a little bit. Not too bad right there. We'll look and see when it wants to get really fun. Nike, like I said, the apparel ones could get cruising. McDonald's right here was pulling back. I thought McDonald's was going to be ripping up. I think it was a little bit of healthy pullback right there. And how about Disney trying to pop back up there and get through the MACD? I'm actually surprised, but we'll see if Disney can get ripping again and try to run up there, even though they keep raising all the prices. And Oxy is way down here, but that's going to get set up. ExxonMobil not looking too bad. And DXYZ right there is just kind of hanging out, pulling back a little bit. Looks like you could have a little bit of pullback on DXYZ. So we should probably just wait for that one and see what it wants to do. And then we can actually have it bounce off of there again like it did last time when it got down to that trend line bottom. So we'll keep an eye on DXYZ right there. And that's what our list looks like. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll go through and see what you guys want to see. I'm just keeping an eye on the game to see what's going on. End of the second. Nobody scored in the second inning, so it's still 1-1. And the third quarter of the Bucks game is starting. Bucks have the ball, and they're down 14-3. So there you go, with a little sports update, and let's see what else is going on, what you guys want to look at, and see what some news is. And let's see, the Dow rises. Hassett says shutdown could end this week. So someone must have said that. I didn't see it, but there you go. U.S. stock futures a little changed as investors eye earnings ahead. And stock futures are a little changed after major U.S. indexes rally to start the week. And another wave of buy the dip again, and gold is smashing records as the dollar wavers, prompting precious metal miners to come off the sidelines right there. So there you go with that. There's that ABAT right there, GSIT and beyond. We were talking about that one running up in the after hours as well. And let's see what you guys want to see right here. And I'm not sure. I'll read what you guys were talking about. And hold on 1 minute. And we were talking about that AWS. That was ridiculous today. And obviously made everything kind of lag behind or not be able to work, and the platform's not work and all that good stuff. So anyway, there you go. And yeah, that was TSLL. We were talking about them, and Laptop Travel said he walked away for the day, and he was right about BYND. You should have stuck with that one. You would have definitely been way up on that. BYND is up in the after hours. We were talking about that one as well. And let's see, we were talking about Steakhouse or Stakeholder, and let me see, Netflix, QSI, and Rohan Moore. How are you? AWCA, let's see what that is. An equity OTC. It might just be over here. Let me take a look at it and see if we can pull it up. AWCA. It certainly is an OTC. Or let me take a look and see. It does have a whole lot of green candles there. That's for damn sure. And it is just kind of pulling back. I could see it trying to roll off right there, curl up and roll off the MACD. Again, I'm only going to have one look at it because it's an OTC. And I would say keep your eye on it if you like it, but it does look like it wants to roll off that MACD. That's the best I could do for you on that one, Rohan. And let's see what else is going on. What do you guys want to see? Beyond, just checked it. This 63% shorted, so it could continue as a massive short squeeze right there. Yeah, I would agree. And that CI is looking good. That Cigna IVVD, what is that one called? Invided or something? That one you did like that last week or something, Luis Rodriguez. And that could continue its way up. IVVD. And yeah, that is looking pretty strong right there. And let's see, Kathy Wood, we were talking about that. Cigna looks great. And Luis Rodriguez said it's poised to go higher, but it's getting close to that top. Remains to be unseen if it breaks that all-time all-time high. Healthcare stocks are on fire right now, so yeah, they are. I would say the same thing. What is Oscar doing? We were looking at it. Took it off the list, but that one's trying to set back up if you like OSCR. And AIP trying to cruise back up there again, that LDI looking pretty massive right there. It was great today. It looks pretty good. And a bat, that American battery, we were talking about that. It looks pretty strong and try to curl right up as well. And AMPX, what is that one? AMPX. Oh, let me type it in right. AMPX. Amperus Technologies or something. And that's not looking too bad. AMPX. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's got to crawl right back up, but it doesn't look too bad to try. I'll look at that in the morning. And GE, what are they up to? Good old GE. We'll see what they're up to right now. GE Aerospace is what it's called now. And let's see, their earnings are coming up tomorrow. That's what's going on with that. So it doesn't look bad going into earnings, but you know how I feel about earnings. I'd rather play around them. But GE does look pretty good. Might have to write that one down with Lockheed Martin for earnings tomorrow, because that's looking pretty decent, I must say, for GE right there. Lockheed Martin and NOC, they all have their earnings in the pre-market, so NOC as well, Northrop Grumman, and we'll keep an eye on all them. KORU, and you've been talking about that one for a year, that South Korea benefiting as so much from the U.S.-China tensions. And let's look at KORU. There you go. Couldn't get it to type up there, but yeah, look at that thing. That's been blasting off. You were right about that. Laptop travel up 6.66% right there today. There you go. And that's a good one right there. That just jumps out at you whenever you see 666 like that. You know it's going to be a good day. So there you are with that one, KORU. And RTX, let's see, defense stocks are the theme tomorrow morning. They do have earnings going on. And what is this RTX up to? RTX Corp. It is aerospace and defense. And that does look pretty good to crawl up. Let's keep an eye on RTX as well. That does look pretty good right there. That is setting up, I must say. And they do have earnings coming up as well tomorrow. So let's add them right to that earnings list. RTX. And that is another one with aerospace and defense and earnings tomorrow. Looking pretty good. Michael Anthony did buy DJT. And they had, we knew they bought the 2.3 billion in Bitcoin, and then overbought that trade to 20-day of 1674. That Bitcoin been up 3 days in a row, and then DJT could pass 1674, and it could go to 18 by on the chart. Yeah, we were looking at it's not too bad right there. I was kind of pulling back at the moment, and it does look like it has a little more setup time on it for DJT right there for you, Michael Anthony. So there you go. And let's see what's up, what's going on. Let's see. You guys were asking about that one. Oh, the Buccaneers scoring some points right there. It looks like they might either scored a touchdown or something. It's 14-9. I don't know if they're kicking a field goal, but the Mariners scored again in the top of the third, and now it's 2-1 with 1 out. So yeah, there you go. And wow, what a game right there. And that UAMY, we were looking at that bad boy. BTGD, we were talking about that guy as well. And let's see what else is going on right here. Let me see. And that CLF, why'd that go up? And they reported a loss. I have no idea what they reported. That Cleveland Cliffs. You know why? The steel ones look amazing right there. And let's see. They sure did, and that's why I just don't even understand earnings at all, Michael Anthony, because none of it makes sense. I just base it right off of all the charts, not and even that one I would have said I that's like a coin flip, and then they miss their earnings and it flies up. I have no idea. That's why I don't play earnings. Nor do I even look at them because I don't think they even mean anything. But anyway, BTGD has some has to have some kind of balance between the two. Maybe one day 80% gold, 20% Bitcoin, because I would say, yeah, that's why I'm amazed at that thing because yeah, gold's been fired up, but what happens when gold like comes way down and Bitcoin's still running up? That means that that thing's going to be like a yin and a yang going on there, and that's why it's always fascinating to me. And I had to write it down to look at it because I had no idea. And anyway, let's see. MLB's live stream and something. I have no idea what they're talking about, but anyway, let's see. CLF. The primary catalyst was Cleveland Cliffs' announcement of plans to refocus on rare earth mining efforts at its existing iron ore mines in Michigan and Minnesota. So there you go. And they're up on a multi-year automotive steel supply agreement as well, bolstered by U.S. tariffs on imported steel and a strategic move to explore rare earth mineral production or something. And let's see, and despite missing their Q3 estimates and reporting a net loss, investor optimism about these developments, including a potentially lucrative MOU with global steel producer Fueled Rally. So there you go, Michael Anthony. I hope that answered your question a little bit. I don't even know what I just read. So I just know I read about it, and Luis Rodriguez and Laptop Travel, I think, filled us all in. And I have no idea what I just said. So I hope you caught all that, Michael Anthony, and made sense of it because I had no idea. And what are we looking at? These penny stocks. That never made. I don't care if they don't make a penny. I always make. I did very well. I do well on penny stocks. So I can trade them pretty easily. You can see them set up and run 100%. They're pretty easy to see all the time, and I love them. And so yeah, there you go. And let's see. Luis Rodriguez said that BTGD is a thing. The implication is that gold has either tapped or is very close to topping in November, December, are Bitcoin's biggest months. So yeah, that's what I mean. If what happens when the gold pulls back and Bitcoin keeps ripping, it's going to be kind of weird, that one. So I definitely have to kind of look at that one and see what it's up to. And let's see, need to call Motormouth that talk so fast you can't understand. Michael Anthony can never understand what I say, but it's all good. And how are you, JB Koss? And I know who that is. I can't. My mind is completely blank. Holy cat! I know it starts with a J, and I just can't even think of. I talk to you all the time. I'm gonna say I don't want to say the wrong name because I could picture. I can't even picture it. I wish I could. Hold on, now it's driving me crazy. It is. I know who it is because I was just talking. Janica, that's it. I was gonna say like Janice something. I couldn't think of what it was. Janica, how are you this evening? And we can go over TNXP. And you missed TONX. Yeah, that one's looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. TONX looking really good. I did buy that at the end of the day today. It looks like they have something going on. And TNXP right here, Tonix Pharmaceuticals, and that thing looks really good. I think we're gonna have to jot that down on our list as well. That was running up today and not looking bad right there, TNXP. So yeah, I'd say let's keep that on the list, crawling up, looking pretty right there. And let me jot that down, TNXP over there. And I'd say that is setting up, looking nice. And yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that. Let's see. And then we were talking about the government shutdown, and they did change it to November 4th. And look at that chart, went wild today, guys. That thing got crazy. I'm not going to lie. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that one as it gets rolling in there. We were talking about that. And let's see what else is going on right here. Let me see. Take a look at that dip on FNMA. What isn't that the FANG one or something? What is it? FNMA, or is it? It's close to that. I forget what the heck it is. What the heck is that one, or is it only over here? I kind of forget. FNMA. Oh yeah, it's an. Oh wait, I was thinking of something different. I was thinking of them Fang ones right there. This is Federal National. Whoa, that is a pretty good one. FNMA. Weren't we just talking about that? Didn't you bring that one up the other day or something? FNMA. That does look pretty good right there. We should keep an eye on that one as well. And let's see about the government shutdown. We were talking about that. And Doge Mama 9 said she's going back to Disney. They'll never lower their prices. And your friend tells you they rely on always to bring in the money. Even a churro stand makes $1 million per year. They rely on every avenue for money. Yeah, they certainly do. You're not kidding, Doge Mama 9. It is kind of crazy, but if their attendance goes down that much, they're going to be in trouble. And yeah, I'm sure the churro stand does make like $1 million a year. It's wild. There's a trillion visitors there, and everybody's just there basically spending money. I mean, you're just like, all right, everything costs a fortune, and we're going to be spending money, so you don't even say no to like almost anything in Disney. And then you just buy stuff, and you do spend a lot of money. That is for sure, no doubt about that. And what is DDD up to? 3D Systems. That looks like it could be a little momentum play there tomorrow. Luis Rodriguez, look at that guy. DDDD. Well, 3Ds. I don't know how many I just said, but DDD. How about that? There's 3Ds right there. And 3Ds looks pretty good. SSYS right here is Stratasys or something. And that one's ripping up there too. And could be another one. Could be a good one in the morning. So keep an eye on that one. SSYS. That one could be nice. And let's see. Doge Mama 9 was late under the weather. Oh man, that's not good. Hope you're feeling better, Doge Mama 9. You better rest up there for your Dodgers game 1 on Friday. You don't want to be feeling down and out for that one. So we hope that you're getting better. And such great market info and team. So thank you very much, Doge Mama 9. We greatly appreciate it. And everybody that tunes in, chimes in, and helps out and participates and just kind of doesn't participate. You just tune in and listen to the show. I greatly appreciate everybody. So we just try to make it a little entertaining. And like I said, I just kind of facilitate it. You guys send in some great ones. We have a great watch list. I add some each day, and then we find out what's going to be popping each day. So there you go. And government wants to sell off part of FNMA. So there you go. That's Fannie Mae, people call it. Oh, that is Fannie Mae right there. That's what that is, that FNMA. I didn't even realize that it's a Federal National Mortgage. Yeah, it sure is. FNMA, Fannie Mae. And but anyway, yeah, that would be interesting. But it does look pretty good right there. Who the heck are they going to sell that to? And so anyway, not sure who they're going to sell it off to, but I'm sure somebody will take it. And the 4 uses energy fuels. I know there's 3 U's too. That doesn't look bad as it curls up. And UUU is universal safety products. I know we were looking at, but the 4 U's looks a little bit better right there again. And I know it did the other day as well. So there you go. UUUU. And it does look like that one's rolling up there. So keep an eye on the 4 U's right there. And what's the best way to invest in the Bitcoin that you don't even know how to buy Bitcoin, Michael Anthony? Well, there you go. That's a great question to go over right now. So I will cover that for you, Michael Anthony, and anybody else. So anybody else that's wondering the same question, because Michael Anthony did ask a great one right there, and I'm sure you're not the only one asking that question, or wasn't afraid to ask that question. Anyway, the game's 2-1, just letting you know, and we'll go into that one. Mariners are up bottom of the third, 2-1. Go over to Blue Jays. And the best way to invest into Bitcoin, Michael Anthony, and everybody else. So if you just want to buy Bitcoin and actually buy crypto, I say that Coinbase is your best one to use. That's the best platform to actually buy crypto and keep it in there, trade it. It's very good. It's safe and all that good stuff. So that's your number one. And that's in America. If you're outside the U.S., Binance is going to be your number one platform for crypto. So inside the U.S., Coinbase is our number one platform. Of course, you can buy some of the big ones on Robinhood and other platforms as well. But if you're going to buy crypto and you really want to hold on to it and make sure it's safe and everything else, and you can buy just about any kind of crypto that's on Coinbase, obviously, You have options to buy a lot of them. The meme coins aren't on there; they're different platforms, but that's a different story. So I would say, Michael Anthony, if you just want to buy Bitcoin, you're going to want to open up a Coinbase account, and it's very easy to do. It's a piece of cake. And then if you don't want to buy Bitcoin and you'd want to also do other ones, they have ETFs for Bitcoin. There's plenty of them. And again, we look at these other ones like BMNR, and these ones are basically treasuries for Ethereum. So I'll just making an example. And your biggest Ethereum or your biggest Bitcoin treasury is going to be MicroStrategy. So good old strategy, if you like what they're doing, and that they do have the most amount of Bitcoin. They own the most Bitcoin as per any like company or anybody is Sayer right here for MSTR. So you can look at that as well. And then you have like Bitcoin ETFs. So you have some of these Bitwise trend ones, but you also have like BITX right here, and that's a 2-time Bitcoin strategy. So BITX is one of them right here. So you can go in there and buy it right there as well. And there's some other ones that you could do, and let's see what they are. BITI. What else? I know there's BITO and a couple others as well. And that one's BITS. So yeah, there's a bunch that you could go in and buy. Bit farms, these guys mine it, and there's a we're not looking at the BlackRock one right there, but yeah, there's a bunch of them that you can also buy right there as well. And there's probably even some more. I just kind of put that in there. We'll see if anything else. I knew ARK had one right here. There's your ARK, 21 shares. And that's Bitcoin as well. So yeah, you have a bunch of different Bitcoin ETFs as well. And Luis Rodriguez was saying spot Bitcoin will be available for purchase on Schwab in early 2026. And Luis Rodriguez, he purchases Bitcoin with Fidelity in his IRA account. So there you go. Fidelity also has crypto trading accounts available to all investors. So you can buy it in Fidelity as well, Michael Anthony. So I would say that should be a pretty good spot answer for your question. And if you didn't like that answer, just let me know. If you have any other questions about it, just feel free to reach out. You can always shoot me a message, or Michael Anthony, if you didn't get your answer right there, feel free to let us know what else you're thinking or what else you have a question about, and I'd be more than happy to go into more detail about it. But I would say that's a pretty good start, and I don't want to confuse people. And again, crypto, if you want to trade just crypto, Coinbase is your best one in the U.S. Binance outside the U.S., of course, you can use Robinhood, Fidelity, all kinds of other ones you can buy crypto in and buy it and sell it and do whatever you want. You can also use you can buy it in the other platforms as well, like even what the heck's the one that we use to buy all the meme coins? I can't even think of a Phantom and stuff like that. So there's so many other ones that you can buy it in. But yeah, there's all kinds of crypto platforms. But again, I use Coinbase. It's the better one. And then you can use Robinhood or Fidelity, or you can go after the ETFs. You can go after MicroStrategy. So many different ways. Have I bought MSTX to hold for days, weeks, or months? That's an ETF. I generally don't hold these ETFs for that long. They can reverse split. I don't know how often these actually do. This one's a fairly new one. And so I don't hold them for that long. I watch them as crypto is going to run up there, or MicroStrategy. This one's actually your MicroStrategy one, but it relies on Bitcoin for the most part. And yeah, like why MicroStrategy's run up, you can trade this because it's way cheaper than MicroStrategy. Obviously, that one is at 296 right here, and this one is in the $17. So you're going to get way better price action on this one, and it is 2 times long. So yeah, I've traded them, but I don't hold on to them that long. And there are so many Bitcoin ETFs. There certainly are. There's like 1 million of them now. So I know Grayscale has some. Everybody has them. So there's like 1 million ways to invest in the Bitcoin. So what is the difference between Bitcoin that you just said? Because you don't know the different or the same or price trade. I'm not even sure what you're talking about, Michael. I'll try to decipher that question right there. I know I can't read right, but I'll just read this out. What is the difference between Bitcoin that you just said? Because I don't know the different or the same or price trade different. If anyone makes sense of that, you let me know. I have a feeling Michael Anthony like talks into his phone and just doesn't look at his messages. That's my feeling, but I'll try to decipher this thing. I have no idea what you're talking about. What is the difference between Bitcoin that you just said? So I guess regular Bitcoin. You were lost on that too, Robin. All right, at least I'm not the only one, because again, I could just read. I read Luis Rodriguez what he was explaining. It sounded like he was speaking English, but I had no idea. I just read a bunch of words. It made no sense to me, and I'm sure it made sense. Again, my reading comprehension is garbage, so I had no idea what I was even talking about, and I'm honest about it. You said Bitcoin, and maybe you said crypto might be the word. Um, Hold on, let me just decipher what I think you might be asking. I'm not even sure, but what is the difference between Bitcoin that you said? And so ready, Bitcoin. Well, crypto is in general like all of them, Bitcoin, Ethereum. When we'll just talk about the top four, just not so it's not too confusing. So when you talk about crypto, you're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and what else is that last one? What the heck is it? I can't. Ripple, that's the other one. And all these guys right here. So you'd call them all crypto right there. That's crypto. And then obviously, and then I did mention meme coins and the Phantom wallet. And meme coins are just like an entire different crypto that obviously people make up these meme coins and they can run and go crazy. We've talked about them before, but we won't even get involved into that. And then Bitcoin and everything else. Obviously, your Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and then you have Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple, and everything else. Your big ones, Doge, Cardano. We talk about Stellar, Optimism, and a few other ones. SUI, Chainlink's a pretty big one. So you got some big crypto right there. They're the big coins that most people know and trade. And again, you can get all of these on Coinbase right there. I'm not sure if you can buy them all on Fidelity. I'm sure you could buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple. They're going to have like your main four. Some of them even have Doge. Some don't. I don't even know. But again, if you want to be able to have access to all your crypto, you can just sign up for Coinbase, and then you can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or any of these or any of the other ones. And there's a million crypto. We go through a ton of them, but we won't go through them all right now. There's just a few of them right there. So that is your crypto right there. And then let's see, what is it? Are you asking what's the difference between Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. I think that's and that is a word, crypto, and you weren't sure. So yeah, okay. So he said Bitcoin and crypto. So yeah, he's completely confused. So that's what I thought, guys, and that's why I started to explain it like this. So all right, at least I was kind of understanding what Michael Anthony. I think it takes a brain injury to understand what Michael Anthony's talking about sometimes. But anyway, yeah. So crypto is considered all of these, Michael Anthony. So that's your Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, anything that has to do with crypto related cryptocurrencies. They just call it crypto. And then when you break down the individual ones, obviously Bitcoin's going to be your biggest one, followed by Ethereum, Solana, Ripple. Then you have Doge and the other ones I'd mentioned, Stellar and Chainlink and all them guys. So they're all different crypto coins. So they're all different ones. And again, we'll just focus on the big four right there: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple. BNB is huge too because it's Binance's coin. And again, Binance is like the biggest platform, but we don't use it in the US. We use Coinbase. Everybody else on the planet uses Binance. Don't ask me why, but that's just the way it works. And Binance does have a US, but you can't buy everything in it like you can in the other one. So nobody uses the US version. We all use Coinbase. Don't ask me why it's like that, but that's just the way it works around here. And that's what I've learned. So anyway, that is what we are looking at. And again, I'm just breaking this down for Michael Anthony. Anyone that's just tuning in, he asked a good question about Bitcoin and how to even buy it, what to buy. He's confused, and he's also confused with the difference between what crypto is and like what crypto even is and Bitcoin. So I'm explaining crypto is the overall. All these coins is called cryptocurrencies, and then Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Ripple, and all the other guys are individual crypto coins. So I hope that helps make it a little bit easier right there. We know you never traded any Bitcoin or crypto, so that's why I'm kind of explaining it. And anybody else, you're not probably the only one that's confused here, Michael Anthony. So again, if you wanted to just trade crypto, you can do it in Coinbase, Fidelity, and these are your top four, Michael Anthony. Bitcoin's your biggest one, then Ethereum, Solana, Ripple. They're going to be your top four that people talk about, probably your safest ones. That are the ones that are going to be going up. Obviously, other crypto will be going up as well, but they're the four that people really focus on. They're your big ones right there. So that is that is your crypto overall, and then that's how you break down your different crypto coins. So I hope that helped right there. And again, you can go on Coinbase, you can go on Fidelity. There's a million ways to purchase actual crypto currencies. I use Coinbase. And then if you wanted to use the not trade actual crypto, you can go into the market, buy all the different ETFs if you want, and look around like that. So there are different ways to do a little bit of everything. In fact, you were asking about this BTGD earlier, and this is 100% Bitcoin, staked Bitcoin, and 100% gold. So you could even do something like that if you wanted to. So there's a lot of different opportunities, and that's where we go through this SOLZ right here. Here's the Solana ETF, and this one's a two-timer right here, SOLT, if I can plug it in, and there you go. So they're Solana ETFs, and so yeah, you have a lot of different options. BMNR, that's going to be a big Ethereum one, and Kathy Wood's been talking about it. That one's setting up. SBET's another one. That's a big Ethereum one. UPXI, we go through that each night. That's a big Solana one. So I hope that helps out Michael Anthony and anybody else that was confused about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or anything in that nature. So there you go. And if you have any other specific questions, you can always reach out, shoot me a message on X, and I'll be more than happy to clear it up for you and just guide you down the right path, I'll say. So yeah, like Laptop Travel said, you should until more comfortable stick with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple, and that's exactly what I was saying. So yeah, that's how it basically works right there. The most bought is Bitcoin, is the most you hear about on like CNBC, and that's because it's the biggest one. It's not necessarily the most bought one, I'm not gonna lie. It does have a lot of volume, but I could show you some meme ones and stuff that just get crazy all the time. So yeah, it's not necessarily, it's just one of the big ones. And again, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, and Ripple, they're going to be your big four that you'll generally hear about. And most people will talk about Bitcoin, and sometimes even when they talk about crypto, they don't realize that people that aren't that informed are just talking about it. They're just talking about Bitcoin, and they'll say crypto and just kind of use crypto and Bitcoin interchangeable. I've heard people do it before, and then I ask them, like, are you talking about crypto in general, or are you talking about like Bitcoin, like just one coin? And they'll look at you, and then you'll say, all right, you're talking about Bitcoin because crypto is like everything, and you're just talking about Bitcoin. So sometimes you'll hear people do that. And again, it's just, it's people say crypto, they immediately think of Bitcoin because it's the biggest one. So there you go, Michael Anthony. I hope that helps out. And you have a friend that has one Bitcoin and he wanted to sell it, and that is one coin worth, and sell Bitcoin for 110. But who can sell that one coin? I would hold on to that bad boy, Michael Anthony. I've been buying it for a long time, really low. So yeah, I would tell him to hold on to that one coin right there. It could be worth way more than that 110. It was at 120 something not long ago right here. So I would say, yeah, it was up here at like 125. If anything, you had been selling it up there. But I would say he should probably hold on to it at this point because they're about to get ripping right there. Let me see. Zach, how are you? What was my picks going to be for the small cap show? That's a good question, Zach. Because like I was explaining earlier, I don't even know what happened. I'm sitting there listening to Money Mark. I'm waiting. He's just about to wrap up. And then the next thing I know, like, the sound just kept going out. It went out like a couple times, and I'd hit my volume button, and it would come back on. And then finally it just stopped working, and nothing was working. I couldn't hear anything. And I'm like, well, they're probably going to call on me. So I was trying to hop on my computer, but I don't think that would hop on. And then I was like, oh, I'll X out and go back in. And then I tried to do that, and I tried to request to speak, and then it just told me that the server was busy, and then it just made the whole entire screen black. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going on the small cap show anymore. Well, for today anyway. I was like, I guess that just got X'd out, and nobody has a clue what I was even going to talk about. And I usually try to recap everybody, so I write down everything. And again, I don't even know what Mark was saying because it just kept cutting out, and I would hear him, and I'd be like, oh, now it's working. And then I tried to post into the thing on the message board if anybody else's was cutting out, and it wouldn't even let me do that. And that's when it really started to have issues. So yeah, I have no idea what was going on. Obviously, a lot of issues were going on with everything today, But X seemed to be okay. I don't think they run on that AW or whatever it is, that Amazon platform, whatever the heck went down today, whatever it was called. I forget what the heck it's even called. But yeah, I don't think X works on it. But yeah, I have no idea. Ben was saying that it kind of crashed on him, but he was able to get right back in. So yeah, I have no clue what happened. But anyway, to answer your question there, Zach, I was going to go over a few that they had mentioned already. LDI, I had liked that all morning. I was talking about it early this morning, saying it looked really good, and it was popping up there. I love Bull right here. I was going to talk about that one being down. I know that market cap's up there, but it's still only like an $11 stock. So Tech right here, I think looks really good. It gets set up, is looking good. And I was going to mention this ASST right here. That's way beaten down as well, because I think this thing could get rolling. And this thing was in like the what? I mean, it was trading in like the fives, the eights not long ago. And now we're in 86-cent land. So they were the ones I was actually going to look at. And then I was going to mention Canopy Growth as well, because it was looking really good to get set up right here, and Tilray as well, looking pretty good. So I don't know if something's going on in the cannabis industry. MSOS trying to get set up as well. So I was going to mention them guys right there, Zach. So great question, thank you, and appreciate you tuning in, and everybody always tuning into the small cap show. And again, I have no idea what happened. It was just one of them days, guys, where everything was messed up to the point where I'll even tell you a little craziness. I had to my wife called me this morning and was like, holy cow, I think something's wrong with the car. It's making some crazy noise. And I'm like, holy cow, what's going on now? So I had to drive up to her work to go check it out. I didn't see anything wrong except that our two front tires were like so bald and bad. We were supposed to get new tires in the summer, and we just never did. We forgot, we were busy. And yeah, like the metal was sticking out, and I'm driving around the parking lot, and I'm like, what the heck is that noise? I'm like, I guess she broke the bands in the tire, but I've never heard it that loud before. So I told her, I said, here, you take my car home. Let me drive your car, because I'm going to take like all the back roads and make sure it doesn't go too fast, because these tires are going to explode. And so I had to drive it home. And then on the way home, I wasn't too far from my buddy's place. My buddy, I talk about a demolition play. I thought I was going to have to leave the car there, because it went from like 40 psi to like 29 in about a snap of a finger. I was like, well, there goes the tires about to explode. And she has a Mercedes, so has them low profile tires. And so I get home, and I actually made it home. I was pretty impressed. I was like, man, that was a blessing right there. I actually made it all the way home. And then I hopped right onto the small cap show. So yeah, I was running around because I couldn't trade this morning. I was going to go after the small cap show, but Webull was down, and I was pissed about that because of the Tesla trade didn't go through. But anyway, so I got my wife's car home. And I told my buddy, he ordered 2 tires for me. He's a mechanic, so they were already in. We took them off. So today he came over, and we had to actually take the tires off and just put it up on jack stands, because I was like, I don't know if that car is going to make it to the shop. I don't want to trust it. I'm going to have to put air in the tires, and it's a mess. Anyway, so we take off the tire, and honestly, I mean, the metal's sticking out. My buddy's like, yo, don't touch the tire. That metal will cut you like real fast, and it'll get stuck in your hand. So I was like, all right, I'll take your word, because he knows what he's talking about. And so we take off the tire, and I'm not gonna lie, it looked like my wife had run over, I guess, in the road. It looked like a chain link, but I mean, it looked like a big ass chain, like a link like this big, and it had the piece sticking up. And yeah, it was like psh. So every time you went around, and I didn't even see it. I looked out on the tire like 4 times. I guess every time, I guess I had it like just going down. I kept stopping the car and getting out, but it's a pain in the ass, that car, because like, again, I don't like any of the new cars. It's like it doesn't have like the regular, like you gotta like push the button to put it in park, and then the car shuts off. It's a pain in the ass. I hate it. I don't even like to drive the stupid thing. Again, I like an older car for that reason. It drives me nuts. So I try to look at this thing and pay attention. and I didn't see anything, so I'm like, oh, I'll just drive home. But yeah, here it's this big metal like chain link. It was huge, and it was like had like a plate through it, so it was not only like a chain link, it was stuck through something. I don't even know what was going on, but that's what it was making. It was so loud when I was driving it. Like I was like, man, I've never heard the bands break this loud in a tire. Like it was so loud that I could see like the people driving by me were like looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with that car? And here was this big metal thing, and as it went faster, it was like da, 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 da. And if you went slow, it was like super loud. It was like I'm like, what the hell is it? I could not see it, obviously. So I wasn't going to do anything anyway. I'm glad I didn't see it because all you had to do was touch it a little bit, and then the air was like, and it just blew right out when I touched it when we took off the tire. So yeah, that was fun today too as well. So just add that to the list without the Weeble work and everything else. The spaces cut out on me. So yeah, my wife's getting new tires on her car, and actually she broke like an axle. We have to fix that as well, but it's not like that bad where it can't be driven. So I have to go order that part from Mercedes, and my buddy's got to go fix that. He's took off the tire. He's like, yeah, something's broken there. I'm like, what is it? He's like, probably the axle. That's what it looks like. I'm telling you, this dude he's a master. He's a wizard. He can just look at something and tell you exactly. He could tell you by if you tell him the sound of what it's making, he'll tell you what it is. It's kind of crazy how good he is at cars. He's been doing it his entire life. His dad was like a master mechanic. I remember he's the dude's house I was at when I got hit in the head. So we do all kinds of stuff together. I'll never forget. He's like a year older. He was 17. I'll never forget. He had a white. It was like a Corsica. I forget what the heck it was. Something like that. And the what the heck broke? What was it? Not the timing belt, something. Yeah, it wasn't the timing belt. It was I forget what the hell it was, but he had to take the entire engine apart. He took it apart. He started at like 6 o'clock at night. It was in the summertime, and he had his entire engine laid out on his front lawn. And we went over in the morning. He was sitting there putting it all back together, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I wouldn't even know where to begin. And he had like one of them old school manuals out. He was doing it. His dad was helping him, but like kind of making him do it all. And yeah, this dude, he just knows how to do everything. He can change an engine out in like 2 hours. It's crazy. They bill like 7 hours. He's figured out ways to do it in two. He literally will bill. I'm not even kidding. He was telling me today he billed 24 hours today. He was only there for 7. He billed 24 hours. So yeah, he's got it down to a science, and he does it all the time. He literally every week he bills out like 60 to 80 hours a week. So he's not there 40 hours, and he's billing 60 to 80 hours because they just plug these things into a computer system, and it tells you how much time it's supposed to take to do the part, and that's what they base it off of. So if the mechanic if it's a 5-hour job and he can get it done in 2, he's still getting paid 5 hours. And so yeah, 3 hours. He's already doing another car, and that one will be a 5-hour job. We'll do in 2 hours. So yeah, he just racks up hours so fast, and he's just a master at it. It's so wild to watch him do it. He runs circles around like everybody. But yeah, he literally every week he bills 60 to 80 hours billing time, and he's not there for 40 hours. So it's pretty impressive. And but yeah, so anytime obviously any cars break, we fix it ourselves. But yeah, that happened today. My wife's car was in bad shape there. So yeah, we got to get that all taken care of now. Anyway, so yeah, it was one of them days today where everything and anything that could go wrong, it was just kind of going wrong, and you just got to sit back and laugh about it. My trade wouldn't go through. Wife's tires were messed up. Honestly, my buddy was saying, he's like, yo, that was probably a blessing in disguise, her pop getting that thing and it making that noise. Because I'm not going to lie, I have a feeling she drives down the highway and she goes pretty far. Not real far, but a good 20-minute drive. And them tires weren't probably going to make it to the end of the week. The way they looked, I'm not going to lie. The wires were sticking out like in some of the spots. They were basically about to explode. So I think it might have been a good thing that it happened. So things happen for a reason, like I always say. So I'm not upset about that. And my buddy will have it fixed tomorrow morning. He'll have the tires and all. So anyway, that happened today. I was running around trying to do that as well, but luckily it wasn't any. I was like, oh man, thought she broke something serious. Like we had to get the car towed. and I was able to cruise home with it. So there you go. That happens again. Everybody, it's just every day is a crazy day for everybody. So I just give you a little glance into my crazy life, and I'm sure you guys always have something else crazy going on as well. That's why we sit here and talk about life too, because life happens, and as you can see, that's why I talk about internet, like the security, cyber security, because look at today. I don't know if it was a glitch, a hack. I have no idea, but you can't do anything. I mean, just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, you can't do your job. My daughter was said that like a lot of their programs were down at school because they rely on that, so they couldn't work and do stuff in certain classes. I mean, it's just a trickle effect, and then your banking systems get affected, Wall Street gets affected, everything, and that's a pretty big deal. So we've talked about it before, and that's why it's so important. I also think that's why a lot of these companies will be working together. What is this ATMV doing right here, Jennifer Lee? How have you been, Jennifer Lee? Let's see, ATMV. Wow, look at that thing jumping up there at the end of the day. That does not look bad. Is that like a shell company? Yeah, it certainly is a shell company. All you have to do is look out here, and you can tell they all have that certain look for whatever reason. I have no idea, but that thing just jumped up big time in the after hours. I don't know what happened. What was its news? I have no idea. And let's look at it right here. It does look pretty strong. I have to write that down for the morning, Jennifer Lee, because it does look like a momentum play, laptop travel and crew for the morning. Alpha Vest Acquisition Corp. So yeah, not looking bad, I must say. Thanks for bringing that to our attention, because I think that could be a good runner there tomorrow morning as well. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. And the it's the end of the fourth, 2-1. Mariners are up 2-1 right there, and they look like they're coming up to bat. So it is a game 7, and we're going to be starting the 5th inning. So there you go. And let's see what else. Bitcoin and Ripple are fixed. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin tokens ever minted. Yep, that is correct right there. Michael Anthony and Laptop Travel. And you have a friend, we were talking about that. And let's see the after hour gains. There's that ATMV. There you go. Luis Rodriguez just posted it up there. That's pretty funny. And JWEL, we were looking at this today, as a matter of fact. Oh, man, that really just ran. We were talking about this on the show this morning, and it did look pretty good. I was saying that it looked pretty nice this morning. Let's see where it went, because that's an interesting one. Where the heck is it? What did it even do right there? I have no idea what that even says. That's really bizarre. That's the minute. What happened to the chart? That's so weird. I don't know what happened to the rest of the day right there. That's really weird. Anyway, it definitely looks like it spiked up there, and we were talking about this morning. So there you go, JWEL. That sucks. We were looking at that this morning, and I was like, Ben had mentioned it. I knew the name of the company. So we were just looking at that. I just don't know how much it was spiking up there earlier. I forget, to be honest with you, but that one did run right there. What is DCCGO? I would assume that's going to be over here. Does that have one too many C's or something? How about that one? Yeah, that's it. DocGo, DCGO. You had one extra letter right there, but that's all good. DCGO, DocGo right there. And that's ripping up in the after hours as well. So another good momentum play. So yeah, that ATMV looking good. I can't believe that JWEL ran like that. HTCR, let's take a look at that one as well. HTCR. There we go. And the Blue Jays are in trouble right here. Let's see. Oh, wow. Mariners just smoked that ball. Woo! That looked like a home run right there. I would say that's a home run right there. I don't know if that's a solo shot, but that was definitely a bomb right there. And I would say the Mariners are up 3-1 right now off a home run. So there you go, top of the 5th. And the Mariners are up. Let's see what the Blue Jays can do. Holy cow, what a good game right there. And let's see HTCR. That looks like it was running up there, HTCR. And yeah, another good one right there. So I would say keep an eye on all of them for the momentum plays in the morning, Jennifer Lee. So thank you for bringing that ATMV to our attention right there. And let's see. And yeah, he doesn't even have to sell the whole thing. You can just sell like one 0.01. And so yeah, it's you can sell fractional pieces of it. You don't have to buy a whole one, Michael Anthony. If you want to buy $20 of Bitcoin, you can buy $20 of Bitcoin. So he's an older man of 69, and he can use the money rather than the coin. Well, if that's the case, I mean, then I would say let it run up to that 125,000 real quick when it's about to get blasted off on this next run up, because you can see it right here, Michael Anthony. Check it out here. You're about to get curled up and running up. You'll probably get over 125 possibly. And then if he wants to do it there, tell him to sell it then. But you should probably hold on until like the spread. Yeah, I would say a couple months from now, he might want to be holding on to it. It could be worth about 150. So yeah, that's exactly where I was thinking, Laptop Travel. So you can just tell him that information right there. And there you go. I don't need that coin if he sells that one coin. And why is he confused? I have no idea what you're talking about. The coin does not exist in the real material. Yeah, it's not really a coin, Michael Anthony. They just call it a Bitcoin, and it's a digital asset. So it just has, you can sell it at any minute. Again, you can sell a fractional piece. So you don't necessarily need to sell the whole thing. He can sell $20 worth if he wanted to, or $100 worth. He could sell $10,000 worth, whatever he wanted to, and still have the rest of that digital asset as well. So that is how it works. JETS is at Global Jets. It is looking really good right there for Jets. Let's keep an eye on JETS. They probably that looks better than the football team, the Jets right there. And let's see what our baseball game is up to. Still 3-1 right there in the top of the fifth with 2 outs. So there you are. Lions are up 21-9 right now over the Buccaneers, and they still have the ball. It is the fourth quarter, and the Texans and the Seahawks come on at 10 p.m. So they're coming on pretty soon. So there you go. And let's see, JETS and UNG. That was running today. Remember, you mentioned it last night, and we were talking about them natural gas ones, and that was running up there. So good one right there, Michael Anthony. And let's see, the tires are expensive on the Benz. Yeah, they are, Robin. They're not exactly the cheapest tires. So everything on that car is always expensive. Luckily, I just go and buy the parts, and my buddy does it. And so yeah, he ordered some tires. They weren't that crazy, but they're definitely more expensive than normal tires. We're not going to lie about that. But anyway, that's the way it works, and we're definitely going to be changing the back tires so we don't have any issues either. But I said, let's get the front ones changed, since the thing's literally up on I'm not even kidding. It's up on jack stands in my driveway. I should take a picture of it for you guys. You guys would laugh. But yeah, the car is literally on jack stands. I said, it looks like someone stole your tires. And so yeah, that definitely happened. And my buddy came and took them off and popped it up on the jack stands and all that good stuff. So we'll fix it tomorrow when he gets done work. He said the tires were already there waiting. So he had ordered them this afternoon, and they came in before he even left from work. And he told me, he's like, dude, you can drive it up here. I'll do it real quick. And then I told him, I said, well, the passenger tire just went from like 41 PSI to like it's at like 20 something now. And I don't know if I'm making it that far. He goes, never mind. He's like, leave the car there. So yeah, that's it. And that's how that works. But anyway, if your buddy doesn't need the money, you should hold that Bitcoin for long term. We all agree with that, at least for a few more months right there, Robin. So there you go, Michael Anthony. That's a lot of good people talking to you and a lot of good info. So you could take that knowledge and tell your buddy what you want to, but you can tell him he can listen back to the show, and also you can play the show back for him. He'll hear about my tire story, a little bit of crypto, everything else in life, and maybe he'll enjoy it. So there you go. GIPR, Generation Income Properties. Wasn't this ripping? Yeah, I was running up the other day, I remember. And that looks like it could be curling back up right there. Not looking bad. So we can keep an eye on that. We do like when they come back down and then curl back off the MACD. But again, why are you going to hold it when they spike up like that and then take the risk? It's not worth it. So there you go. And the game 3-1 in the bottom of the fifth. So the Blue Jays are coming up here, see if they can score some runs, get some runs back up there. And Luis Rodriguez said, no need to sell. Some lenders will issue loans using Bitcoin as collateral. That's true too, Luis Rodriguez. You're absolutely right about that. That's how sought out that Bitcoin is. Yeah, lenders they'll like just let you have a loan and use your Bitcoin as your collateral. So if you really want to do it that way, he could do it that way too. How are you, Imad Ali? I'll say, I don't want to say your name wrong, but there's your GIPR right there. And again, we do like when they roll back off that MACD. Not looking bad right there, I must say. So one to keep an eye on for tomorrow as well. GIPR looking pretty good right there. And let's see what else is going on up here. Let's see if we missed anything. I think I got to everybody over there. Let's see if I missed anything over here. And again, we can hop off and go check out this game. It's a game 7, and we're in the bottom of the 5th. It's 3-1, and the Blue Jays are coming up to bat. So we'll see if they can get some runs on the board. And let me see. I think we looked at everything over there. Let me take a look and see if we missed anything and look at our news stories. I think we went over the news stories. I don't even remember. Critical mineral stock surge in Sydney after U.S. Australia deal. And there you go. And let's see, the Dow rises. Yeah, Haas has said that the shutdown could end this week. We did look at that. And we were looking at this. This chart got crazy today, guys. Look at this thing. Although that is crawling back up there to November 16th. So I don't know. Maybe that deal went a little south. I have no idea. But they're still projecting, it looks like, November 5th now. So, yeah, like I said, that just started to shoot back up. We'll see how it looks in the morning. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but that chart is crazy. And we are getting a rate cut, though. We do know that. If we don't, there's something wrong with this with the Fed right there. And we were talking about BYND. Check that one out in the morning. We were talking about it in the live trading session today. And we had talked about it last week when it was down here in the 70 cent, 60 cent area down there. So I remember we were talking about that, and it is ripping up there. So there you go with that. Let's see if we missed anything else. I probably got to everything over here, but I'll just take a look and see if we missed anything trending. BTC is what is that one? We look at that. Great. There you go. There's a Bitcoin mini trust ETF right there for you. Michael Anthony, couldn't even think of your name for a second, but there you go. There's another one. Remember, I said they have grayscale ones. Well, there's one right there. And that Cleveland Cliffs is on there, that GSIT. We had looked at that bad boy as well. And yeah, that one's running up. You can look at that in the morning, see if it wants to run. And you guys already mentioned ATMV. Jennifer Lee was talking about that one right there. So we'll, I thought, yeah, that was the one, ATMV. And let's see, REPL. That one looked like it was bouncing up as well right here. Let's see what that's doing. Replimune or something, and that one was ripping up there today. So you can keep an eye on that one as well right there. And there you go, everybody. I would say that's a pretty good market review, just checking it out to see if we're missing anything. And again, we'll have to look at that J Nug and Nug. They look like they could go any which way tomorrow, so we'll be watching for them as well. And yeah, I think we got to everything right there. Let's see if we missed anything. We did our news stories, and let's just see if we missed anything over in here. And that beyond YYAI, we looked at ADAP was pulling back a little. I'll look at it tomorrow. Ranny was running up some more, and there's that BBAI, the Big Bear. I kind of popped them off because they were pulling back a little bit. I'll look at them tomorrow, see if they're trying to pull back up. There's Plug right there. It was kind of bouncing around today. Biff Farms, another one. So again, we'll see if they want to roll back up, and we'll look at them there. But you could be just getting a new sector getting to be popping up here, and they could be pulling back. There's that REPL. Apple was looking good. That GPOS might be looking good. That's an aerospace and defense one. Has been hanging out. I don't know how that Nvidias is still running up there, but I wouldn't be chasing it. That's for sure. But yeah, this one looks like it might be pretty good right there. GPOS. So keep an eye on that one in the morning as well. And the aerospace and defense, they do have a lot of earnings coming up in the morning there, so we'll be watching that. Buru had been pulling back there. RX have been running up a little bit. RGTI coming down. Data Vault running back up. Archer right there is another aerospace and defense we might want to keep an eye on. And let's see if anything else. Denson Mines pulling back finally. And Ford right there had been looking good. Remember, we were looking at that the other day, saying it looked good. And LAES was bouncing around today. Open door, like I said, we'll keep an eye on that. Tilray right there, AMD, not too bad. NEO is at a China auto manufacturer, not too bad right there. And here's another gold miner right there, GDXD. And let's see, that looks like an inverse one. And let's see, 3 times leveraged inverse. And look at that, kind of bouncing down. It's just bouncing around a lot right there. We'll look at J Nug and all them guys in the morning. And there you go, everybody. So thank you very much for tuning. 82% odds of Polymarket goes live in the US in 2025. Huh? Oh, is Polymarket going to actually work in the US anytime soon? I have no idea. I see like all kinds of promotions about it. I have no idea what the heck they do over there. I know we looked at it before and there was like only 2 countries that could trade it. Wasn't it like Brazil and something else? I forget. But anyway, that's what it looks like. I would definitely trade them Polymarket charts. I like them. And so yeah, they're interesting to me. And yeah, everybody greatly appreciate what list was I looking at? Where at this list that I make each night? Right here, Michael Anthony. That list right there. I write each and every night. I handwrite it out there. I take a picture of it and then I post it out on X and in StockTwits. So that is where I get that list each and every night. So on Finviz. They were just in the most active ones in the unusual volume. So yeah, if you just go on Finviz over here, and again, you can go through any of these. There's always a ton of them. Here's your trend line support one. So you can pull all these up and look at them right here and look at your trend line support ones. And you can see some of these will be popping off. That doesn't look bad right there. And that's what I used to do. I used to just come through and scroll through a ton of them. I probably wouldn't play it because it's just a ETF. But again, you can kind of see which ones are looking good as you cruise through. And yeah, you can go through any of them. I just happen to go through like the most active, unusual volume. Sometimes you'll see a couple that'll be setting up in there. And then also you can look through all these guys. Your new lows, your oversolds are right here. That's always a good spot to be looking at things because these are way down and beaten down right here, like that walk WTO. And a lot of these, look at that OFS all the way down there as well. ETS, that one opened up way up and then came straight down. MLEC, look at that thing. MULEC, that's way down. That's been in the basement for a little while. That took a nice dip. TVRD. So yeah, you can find some really good ones on there as well. So that's where I found that list on Finviz. And yeah, you can go through any of these bad boys overbought. You know, these things are way at the top. You can probably short most of these down, I would assume, because they look like they're going to be pulling back right there. So that might be an opportunity as well to look at. Probably easier to bring them down than it is to run them up sometimes. And fast food sector, yeah, we've looked at the restaurants. They were looking pretty good. DRI, that Darden, McDonald's wasn't looking too bad as well. So yeah, we've been recently looking at some of these as well, and they are trying to get set up, some of them. So yeah, we had just been talking about them. So that one looks pretty good. That Chanson International, that's a China one right there. And there you go, CHSN. Look at that thing trying to get set up. That one might roll up there. And there you go. And look at the airline sector. We can look at a couple of them real quick. I know SUV or LUV is Southwest. Couldn't think of it. That doesn't look too bad. Remember, these were setting up the other day. And there's the airlines right here. American Airline looking pretty good. Alaska looking good right there. Let's see. CPA not too bad. Delta looking good. Yeah, I would say JetBlue is all right there. Southwest looking pretty good. So, yeah, I would say your airlines aren't looking bad. There's your United Airlines right there. Definitely something to look at in the morning as well. So we can keep an eye on our airlines and see what they're up to. So there you go, Michael Anthony and everybody else. Laptop Travel, Robin and Luis Rodriguez, Doge Mama 9, Asian Joe Lee, and Janet, you changed your thing and it's messing me up right there. Janica, that's what it is. I don't know why. I just can't say it. I know what it is, and it's just like my brain doesn't want to say that for some crazy reason. And who else was hopping on here? There's some other people up there. I don't even remember. But everybody, I greatly appreciate. If you're just tuning in, be sure to follow along on X, YouTube, Instagram, and all that good stuff. And hit the like button. We do this show every night, Sunday night through Thursday night. We go through the market, we see what's going on, we pick out all the poppers, we even go through all the sports games and tell you what's going on with the good stuff there and keep you updated on that. And it is what, 3-1 still. The Mariners are up on the Blue Jays, coming to the top of the sixth, 24-9 right now. The Lions are beating up on the Buccaneers. So we even keep you updated on sports as well. Oh, we cover the market. We look at crypto. We look at everything. We talk about some life things like my wife needed new tires on her car today and everything else, Michael Anthony. So we even listened to your life story about your buddy, and he has a Bitcoin. He's 69 years old and he wants to sell it. I would say let him wait just like a couple more months there, and he might extend that bad boy a little bit higher and really be able to live pretty comfortably off of that one cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. And we were breaking down exactly what the difference between all the cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, Ethereum, the big ones, Michael Anthony had been asking. So if you have any questions about anything, guys, be sure to shoot me a message on X, send me a DM. I respond to everybody. And let's see what's going. What is the ETF for fast foods? I have no idea. Laptop Travel, or anyone know what the ETF is for fast foods? I have no clue. SFM is Sprouts. That's all right. It does. It looks like it's got a set up right there. And yeah, I have no idea. Fast food. I wouldn't even know what to look at because it won't come up if you put fast food in. And I'm not sure what I would even put in because McDonald's won't pop it up. So yeah, I have no idea. We'll have to find out if there's an ETF for fast food. I really have no idea. I'd have to ask like Chat GPT or something. So we'll get the answer. And we'll find out if there is one for you there, Michael Anthony. And there you go, everybody. I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, we'll be on at 7 a.m. for our pre-market show. I tend to start a couple minutes early just to make sure that we can get through everything. And of course, all information presented here is for informational and educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. I told you I can't even read, and I can't remember what I even say every day, a couple times a day there. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in. Any questions, feel free to shoot me a message on X. We'll be on obviously early to go over. I was just kind of waiting right there to see if anybody was going to pop anything up. PEJ right there is a leisure and entertainment one. That looks pretty good, but how about EATZ right here? And that could be an ETF for your restaurants. I don't know exactly which ones they are, but there you go. Luis Rodriguez, thank you very much for popping that up for us. And I was kind of I figured some Laptop Travel or Luis Rodriguez, we're probably looking to see which one they are, and they'll probably send over a list if there's any other ones. So there you go, Michael Anthony. We even got you an answer. EATZ is one of them. We'll see if there's any other ones as well. And there you go, everyone. So yeah, enjoy your evening. Enjoy the rest of this game. We'll see if it's going to be a little bit closer. It is 3-1 right now. Going into the bottom of the sixth. So the Blue Jays are coming up to bat. They're down 3-1, and we'll see if they can make it a comeback right here and put a good game on. It's a game 7 right here. So whoever wins is going to the World Series to play Doge Mama Nines Dodgers there, and that series starts Friday night. So we will be keeping up to date on all that good stuff. And of course, we go over to market, keep up to date on that, especially. And we'll be on early in the morning at 7. And then I'll be back on in the Discord at 9 with Ben. We'll go through everything, make sure you guys know exactly what's going on to be able to trade through. And Future Fuel Corp, I don't even know what that is. FFETFs, not sure. But anyway, oh, fast food ETFs. So yeah, I'm not sure what the heck they are. I'll have to look at that on Chat GPT or something like that and see what it says to me, because I have no idea what any of them are, to be completely honest. So there you are, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the games. There's still a football game coming on right now too, so you can enjoy that. And we'll be back at 7 a.m. So be sure to tune in the morning, and we'll cover everything and see what's going on. Until then, enjoy your night, and I will see you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.